Welcome back to the Hill. A little bit of scary video coming from the White House. The Secret Service says a 19-year-old crashed a U-Haul truck into a security barricade overnight near the White House. Police say, and then displayed for everyone to see, a Nazi flag that was found inside the truck. He's charged with trespassing and threatening to harm a president or vice president. So, back here with the panel. I don't know about you, Bob. My takeaway when I saw this was, well, I guess those barricades actually work.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I imagine the U-Haul PR department's having a rough day.
Or their insurance company.
And politics has gotten more violent. It certainly has been violent for centuries, but recently in this country, we saw it January 6th, we've seen other attacks on members. The threat is real. However, I've talked to a lot of members who don't want protection 24/7. They're not members of leadership. But is the threat real to members and to the president? Absolutely.
Well, and we just had an attack also on a congressman in his Fairfax office who was
Carrie Connolly,
which is another tragic event, and he allegedly assaulted and hit with a metal baseball bat 2 of his staffers, which is just heartbreaking. I think in both cases, it seems that mental illness was a big play, and May is Mental Health Awareness Month. I think that's a very important part of this conversation that we need to be having. And it appears in the case of the White House U-Haul truck that he was screaming about how he wanted to take power, he wanted to seize control of the government. So clearly a very irrational person, because it's heartbreaking. So I think that
if we have his mugshot, I was just going to see if we could put it up. If you look at the mugshot of both the guy in the U-Haul attack, and then you look at the mugshot of the guy, Jerry Connolly's office as well, these people seem to be pretty far off their rocker. This was very different than, say, the attack on Steve Scalise in House Republicans. I guess, Scott, this would be the question, though. We live in a free society. How much of this is just crazy people sort of hearing what they hear on television and then acting out, versus any kind of political violence that you could stop in the end, that we could bankrupt the federal government if we begin protecting every member of Congress like they're the President of the United States?
Yeah, but I think the political rhetoric on both sides needs to be modulated downward, if you will. Part of your responsibility for your political conversation is the responsibility that if we know and we have evidence that political rhetoric, whether it's urging people to take back their government or January 6th or something far less than that, elected officials have to take responsibility that their supporters or their followers could be mentally ill and could do something negative and drastic and violent. I know it's hard, Leland, to sort through all of that, but mental illness is a real issue. But I don't want to talk about it. I want our federal government to do something about it at the state, county, and federal level. Because all of these attacks, whether they're mass shootings or trying to ram the White House, we're finding out these individuals don't have prior records. Most of them don't. They're just mentally ill. And it may just be the political rhetoric that triggers them. But the reality is that they're not getting the treatment in their communities, and it's triggering these violent acts.
But how are you going to get politicians? And I agree with you, Scott. The temperature has to come down. But how does it get there, especially in the era of Trump, in the era of Twitter, getting more followers? The louder you are, the more attention you get.
I didn't say you could get there. I said we should get there.
Fair.
Remember, I'm a lawyer, but something's got to be done. And I think while we have that hope and goal, we've got to get mental health services funded to get help to those people that need it, whether it's gun violence or whether it's this other political violence.
Well, a lot of it, too, is family being proactive. So I have 2 mentally ill brothers, and it takes an enormous amount of family effort to get mental health care. Unfortunately, our system is actually rigged against families. Everything is putting barriers up to families instead of actually helping them. They say it's in the name of privacy and HIPAA, but and a lot of these changes happened in the name of sort of a libertarian ethos. I think that's wrong. I think that there should be a balance between having, actually proactive measures to help families get the care they need. That's why most of the people are out on the streets. They are, homeless people. A lot of them have schizophrenia, and their families have not gone through those barriers to proactively take them off the streets. That's what happened in New York with the case of the tragic with the Marine.
Or their rights are trying to be, the government tries to protect their rights, actually, when you need to be abridging their rights.
In the 1930s, we had places for these folks, right? You put them in.
Well, they weren't the best places, but yes.
No, but agreed. But
the alternative was much worse, because what happened was you had the mental institution population going down, meanwhile the prison population going drastically up, and it's exactly right around the time of the changes that we made. That's what's happened. And
if we think about this from just a political standpoint, right? This is rise in attacks, charges of domestic terrorism. No surprise, 2021, because Bob, you mentioned January 6th. So a lot of these prosecutions that are in this bar graph. So it's skewed by that, and that is different than domestic terrorists trying to blow up buildings and on and on and on. So, fair enough as we.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.